So clutched here in my greasy mitts are two of the best foldable phones of 2026, Motorola's RAZR Fold and Samsung's fresh new Galaxy Z Fold 8 Ultra. Now, even though Samsung has had 8 generations to perfect its bendy blowers, that RAZR Fold is still seriously stiff competition in all areas. Battery life, camera tech, gaming performance and everyday usability. So which of these massive flexible gits is most worthy of a place in your pants? Well, here's my full comparison. And for more on the latest and greatest tech, please do poke subscribe, ding that old notifications bell. Cheers! So let's begin with design, and there's no denying that the Motorola RAZR Fold is the chunkier of the two. Samsung's book-style foldables have really slimmed down these past couple of generations. Meanwhile, the RAZR is a mosquito's man bag under 1 centimeter when closed up, about 1 millimeter thicker than the Z Fold 8 Ultra. It's a whopper of a camera bump as well. You've got slightly thicker bezels surrounding the cover screen here on the RAZR Fold as well, but the most significant difference is the weight, because the Moto weighs 243 grams versus 215 here on the Z Fold 8 Ultra. So you can notice the difference when you hold them both together. It may not sound like a massive difference, but the Moto certainly feels like a proper full-on brick. Whereas the Z Fold 8 Ultra doesn't actually weigh much more than most standard flagships. In fact, it's lighter than a few of those iPhones, etc. But despite this, I still prefer the hand feel of the Motorola. It's just a little bit more curvy, more of a palm pleaser certainly. Samsung has ever so slightly rounded off those corners for the Z Fold 8 Ultra, but it is still essentially a rectangular slab, albeit these days a reasonably slender one. Motorola doesn't exactly offer the most thrilling selection of colours for the RAZR Fold. You've got lily white or this here blackened blue, which I don't know where the blue bit comes in, it is basically just black. You can also grab it in a World Cup Special Edition if you want to relive all of that shenanigans on a daily basis. I guess maybe if you're Spanish, might be a good idea. If you're Argentinian, you might want to stay away. Whereas the Z Fold 8 Ultra comes in black and white as well as a sort of violet-y colour and the rather lovely online exclusive green shadow. The Z Fold 8 Ultra sports a matte glass finish versus the soft touch design here on the RAZR Fold. Of course, it's all down to personal tastes. I think the Z Fold 8 Ultra looks a wee bit smarter than its Motorola counterpart. That matte finish, thankfully, highly resistant to fingery, greasy, smudgy, grimy nastiness. The RAZR Fold, I think, doesn't look quite as premium, but that soft touch back does add a nice bit of grip, which is certainly helpful when fondling something so large. However, I've also found that arse end picks up just little bits of cack and dust and God knows what just far too easily. And it certainly stands out quite clearly on this black and blue model. Maybe the lily white will be better, I don't know. But the good news is both of these flexible phones are proper tough buggers. You've got Gorilla Glass ceramic up front, so strong impact resistance just in case you happen to fumble these gits. And neither Motorola or Samsung has slapped a screen protector on that front end, so you might want to do that just to avoid any scratching in the near future. My Samsung's still pristine as I've only had it a week and a half, but the Motorola, they've got a few light nicks on that front screen already. And both of these phones have a tough titanium plate crammed underneath that internal folding screen to help prevent pressure damage. And that also again helps with the old drop resistance. And both phones are IP48 dust and water resistant. So not always if you get wee bits of grit in them, they can be fully submerged in the drink for, a small amount of time. But the Motorola RAZR Fold also IP49 spurt resistant. That doesn't mean it can put up with me more easily. It just means that it can take a severe spraying and be absolutely fine as well. Now, opening these phones one-handed, not really a problem. I'm just about dexterous enough to do it with both the RAZR Fold and also now the Galaxy Z Fold 8 Ultra, as well as Samsung has mercifully rounded off those edges ever so slightly. And both the Z Fold 8 Ultra and the RAZR Fold sport an edge-mounted fingerprint sensor built into that power button. Just a quick tap of your digit against this and you're straight into your phone. I have found on the RAZR Fold that this is positioned just a little too high up that edge, so it is a bit of a stretch. It's certainly more comfortable to use here on the Z Fold 8 Ultra. But both of them thankfully perfectly dependable. You do have face recognition as well as a backup. My only other complaint is it's a bit of a jumbled mess here on the Motorola because they've gone and shoved an extra AI button in there, which you can easily accidentally fumble when you're just trying to change the volume. Now the cover screen's pretty similar on these two foldables. You've got a 6.5-inch dynamic AMOLED 2X display on the Z Fold 8 Ultra versus the 6.56-inch POLED cover screen on the RAZR Fold. And both of these are sausage shaped with a 21:9 aspect ratio, so a little bit skinnier than most standard smartphones. And this certainly means that both the Z Fold 8 Ultra and the RAZR Fold are very well suited to cinematic shenanigans, although not quite so great when it comes to typing because that keyboard is a bit squished. Does the job okay, just not quite as comfortable as what you'll find with most other phones. And again, not exactly ideal for web browsing or reading or anything, but does the job. Both cover screens perfectly crisp with a 1080p resolution. You've got HDR10 streaming support in the likes of Netflix and everything as well. And the Z Fold 8 cover screen slightly cooler overall, but you can tweak the colour temperatures in the display settings of both phones if you like. And both of them comfortably bright enough to resist all kinds of glare, so perfect for outdoors use. Oh, and also for any gamers out there, the RAZR Fold does actually have a cover screen refresh rate of 165Hz peak, whereas it's 120Hz here on the Z Fold 8 Ultra. Of course, 165Hz can only really be appreciated on a handful of supported games, and only if your eyeballs aren't as old and knackered as mine. You do actually have a stereo speaker set up on both these foldables as well, with a bit of Dolby Atmos support. It is clearly louder and a bit punchier on the RAZR Fold compared with the Z Fold 8 Ultra, but clarity is strong on both and neither particularly amazingly bassy, absolutely fine for a bit of YouTube, Netflix, whatever. Now yank these buggers open and you've got yourself an 8-inch dynamic AMOLED 2X display again here on the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 8 Ultra, whereas the Motorola RAZR Fold sports an 8.09-inch POLED panel. And again, you got full HDR10 streaming support, gorgeous contrast and punchy colour reproduction. Motorola's display is slightly sharper on the RAZR Fold, but both of these are perfectly crisp for editing photos, reading graphic novels, whatever you fancy. Just don't bother watching movies on them because that's a crap idea. You just end up with ridiculous letterboxing. Unless that is, of course, you're watching a movie in like the top half of the screen or something while browsing the web in the bottom half, something like that. Now you do, of course, have a crease running down the centre of both of these screens, and it is more obvious on the RAZR Fold. Samsung's is pretty subtle these days. They have had many generations to perfect it. But looking straight on at these screens, the crease isn't really that noticeable, and also when you run your finger over the displays, it is the merest snifter of a bump, not really that noticeable at all. However, Samsung has slapped an anti-glare screen protector on that massive, great whopping internal screen, and as you can see, it does actually have a serious impact, helps to cut down on the reflectivity, so that outdoor visibility is certainly top notch. But they're certainly both eye-poppingly bright, so the outdoor visibility is still fine on the RAZR Fold. And the RAZR Fold does also boast a bit of flicker prevention if you are sensitive to OLED flicker. You've got superior PWM dimming as well compared with the Samsung, which, yeah, it's pretty lackluster in that department. And these internal screens certainly considerably better for reading, web browsing, etc. compared with the cover screen, as well as multitasking too, but more on all of that in a bit. Now the RAZR Fold runs a lovely wee spot of Android 16 in a mostly vanilla form, whereas the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 8 Ultra is one of the very first smartphones to come with the fresh new Android 17 out the box. That's smothered as always in Samsung's very own OneUI launcher. And both handsets come with a guaranteed 7 years of OS updates and security patching as well, although you will actually get one more OS update on the Galaxy Z Fold 8 Ultra because it came with the latest Android 17. And I think the foldable experience is slightly better here on the Galaxy Z Fold 8 Ultra purely because Samsung's had so long to work at it. So for instance, I appreciate the way that Samsung makes it easy to independently set up your internal desktop from your cover screen, so you can just arrange the apps that you use the most on those individual screens rather than having to have the same setup. On the flip side, Samsung does bung a whole bunch of its own apps on here, most of which duplicate what you've already got with Android. So, you know, another app store, another web browser, another password protector, all this shenanigans. Whereas Motorola tends to add in extra bonus features which enhance the overall Android experience, the likes of Smart Connect, etc. Which, don't worry, I'm not going to bang on about now, because otherwise this video will be longer than a sodden Marvel movie. And as for multitasking, where you can happily run up to 3 apps side by side on both the RAZR Fold and that Galaxy Z Fold 8 Ultra. Although it's more comfortable to just run the two side by side, you can also mostly watch one off screen. So you've got a mostly full view experience, but still enjoy a bit of YouTube streaming in the background or whatever. You got the usual floating window support as well, of course, all that good stuff. And I think it's safe to say both Motorola and Samsung, big fans of that AI. Tons of AI shenanigans crammed on both of them, although only Motorola actually bothered to slap a physical AI button on the bloody thing too. We've also got multiple assistants. They've got the likes of Perplexity and ChatGPT slapped there on top of Gemini. Of course, Samsung also has its own Bixby, the dum-dum robot, if you want to use that for whatever reason. I do slightly prefer the photo and video editing smarts on the Galaxy Z Fold 8 Ultra. It's got a bit more going on. Although I've got to say, the one feature that I would really miss if I swapped from the Z Fold 8 Ultra back into the RAZR Fold is the call screening. And this can just vet any unknown callers on your behalf before you decide whether to pick up the phone to them or not. Great news if you get lots of spammy, annoying bollocks. However, if you're of the more creative persuasion, you like sketching, scribbling, all that sort of thing on your smartphone, well, sadly, the Galaxy Z Fold 8 Ultra does not support Samsung's S Pen stylus in any way, shape or form. It's not having any of it. Whereas Motorola's RAZR Fold does support its very own stylus pen in its hilariously cigar-shaped box. This actually charges the stylus when it's not in use. Just poke it there and it pops right out. And then you can merrily doodle or annotate documents, whatever you fancy doing on that massive screen. It seems like a bit of a missed opportunity that Samsung is just not actually bothering to let you do that on the Z Fold 8 Ultra. So yeah, good old Moto to the rescue. Oh, and also worth a mention is Motorola's been pretty generous with the storage in that RAZR Fold, 512 gigs of this stuff, in fact, whereas the Z Fold 8 Ultra comes with 256 gigs as standard. You can upgrade that to 512 gigs or even a full terabyte if you fancy it. Although to actually afford to do so, you will pretty much need a Scrooge McDuck vat of gold bullion stashed in your back garden. So performance, and the Motorola RAZR Fold is powered by Qualcomm's Snapdragon 8 Gen 5, backed by 16 gigs of RAM. And just to be clear, that's not the latest, freshest Qualcomm chipset. That would be the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5, which just happens to be what Samsung has crammed into the Z Fold 8 Ultra in a 4 Galaxy flavour, which basically means it's been ever so slightly overclocked. And that's backed in this 256 gig model by just 12 gigs of RAM, but again you can upgrade to 16 gigs if you have the average GDP of a small nation stuck away in your savings. And the gaming performance is respectable in both of these big bendy buggers, if not exactly stellar. You might expect the Z Fold 8 Ultra to maintain a higher frame rate in demanding titles like Wuthering Waves for longer, thanks to that upgraded chipset. However, the graphene cooling simply can't keep up. And so after roughly half an hour of action each time, I did notice some serious drops in the performance. However, this was with the visuals boosted all the way to their peak settings, and so scaling the graphics back a wee bit certainly helped matters. Meanwhile, the RAZR Fold also struggles a bit under serious duress, so you're once again best off keeping those graphics at the more sort of medium level if you want a smoother experience. So if you are a hardcore dedicated mobile gamer, you might want to look elsewhere entirely, frankly, especially as a big old square display not really perfectly suited to most mobile games these days anyway, which prefer a more stretched aspect ratio like what you get with the cover screen, and then you might as well just be playing on a regular flagship with a proper dedicated cooling setup. But you do also have a dedicated gaming mode on both the Z Fold 8 Ultra and the RAZR Fold as well, which can help to block notifications, cut out the auto brightness, record the action, all the usual standard stuff. And so let's have a wee meander onto the subject of battery life, and this is an area where the RAZR Fold is certainly superior with its 6000 mAh capacity battery compared with the improved but still rather measly in comparison 5000 mAh of the Z Fold 8 Ultra. So I found that while Samsung's Foldable offered up around sort of 7.5-ish hours of approximate use on that big screen from a 100% charge, I actually got closer to 9 to 10 hours of mixed use on the RAZR Fold. However, it is a more even playing field when it comes to gaming on that almighty internal panel. You can expect just under 4 hours of Wuthering Waves gaming time from both phones when they're fully charged, and that is with the screen brightness and the graphics settings pumped right up. However, Motorola also the clear winner when it comes to charging these buggers up again as well, because you've got 80-watt wired charging support versus just 45 on the Samsung, so even though it's a bigger battery, still charges faster. And you got wireless charging support with both phones too, but again, Motorola is quicker with its 50-watt wireless charging versus just 20 watts on that Z Fold. And so you lovely buggers, let's finish up this Z Fold 8 Ultra versus RAZR Fold comparison with a bit of a squint at the old camera tech. And what you have here is a 50 megapixel Lightyear 8-to-8 sensor, 1/1.28 inches in size here on the RAZR Fold, versus a 200 megapixel ISOCELL HP2, 1/1.3 inch sensor on the Samsung Z Ultra, whatever the f it is. Galaxy Z Fold 8 Ultra. Sorry, it's early in the morning and the heat is already oppressive. My brains are basically turning into blancmange. And yes, the Samsung may pack in an awful lot more megapixels on that primary sensor compared with the RAZR Fold, but the more significant comparison is the sensor size, which is almost identical on this pair. And both phones are generally quite dependable even when dealing with dodgier lighting, although on the whole Motorola's bendy blower tends to impress more with natural looking photos, while the Z Fold 8 Ultra can oversaturate at times. In ambient light they both do well enough, again pumping out rich natural tones, but in the evenings you are more likely to get crunchy, grainier shots from the Z Fold 8 Ultra despite the fact that the sensor is a similar size. Thankfully, Samsung appears to have reined in the portrait mode for the Fold 8, although that bokeh can be quite heavy-handed if you don't manually dial it down. But portraits tend to look rather dashing, as they do on the RAZR Fold. The edge detection is usually on point, as long as that background isn't too mental or anything. Now, you do also have yourself a telephoto shooter with 3x optical zoom on both of these phones, although it's a larger 50 meg sensor on the RAZR Fold versus the meager old 10 megapixel sensor that Samsung keeps on slapping on its Z Fold phones. So yeah, the RAZR comfortably captures more detail versus the Z Fold 8 Ultra once you surpass that 5x zoom level. Frankly, it's not even close most of the time, although both zoom sensors do struggle in low light, especially if they have to deal with quite strong contrast. And both of these bendy blowers also sport a 50 meg ultra wide angle shooter. It's actually an upgraded sensor here on the Z Fold 8 Ultra. And once again, the RAZR Fold slightly more successful at color capture, although Samsung's ultra wide tends to be better at night. You'll still get grain, but those colors are a wee bit poppier and light sources don't flare quite as horrifically. And both phones are pretty decent when it comes to shooting a bit of video as well. You do have 8K resolution capture support on both, otherwise you can shoot at 4K resolution at 60 frames per second with HDR switched on, which is what I'm doing right now on this lovely pair. And here on the RAZR Fold you got yourself a 32 megapixel internal selfie camera, basic 10 megapixel again here on the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 8 Ultra. It's absolutely fine for a bit of video chat and shenanigans. Can just prop up the phones like so, have a good old chinwag completely hands-free. You can also shoot up to 4K resolution footage, again at 60 frames per second with this pair. And there you have it, my lovelies. That in a tasty wee nutshell is how I reckon Samsung's fresh new Galaxy Z Fold 8 Ultra stacks up against one of its biggest rivals right now, Motorola's RAZR Fold. And personally, I've got to say it is kind of a tough one. You know, the Motorola has the edge over that Ultra in a few ways, such as the battery life is slightly better, charging speeds are faster. I do really like the stock Android vibes as well. However, when it comes to Samsung's blower, it is a bit skinnier, nice and light. I do think Samsung has nailed the foldable experience overall just slightly better than Motorola, because of course they've had many years to hone it and perfect it. Both perfectly great performance for everyday shenanigans, although gamers might be slightly disappointed, certainly if you want to play more intensive fare like Wuthering Waves. Anyway, that's enough of this bald bastard banging on about bendy blowers. Please do let us know which one you think you would rather have stashed in your shorts, the Motorola RAZR Fold or Samsung's Galaxy Z8 Ultra. And my full Samsung Fold review is imminent, where I'll be comparing with the old Z Fold 7 to see what's really changed and has it improved. So if you don't want to miss that, well please do click subscribe, ding that notifications bell, and have yourselves a ruddy, wonderful rest of the week. Cheers everybody, love you!